The digital media landscape doesn't need more walls. It needs clarity, unlimited intelligence across competitors, audiences, inventory, and data, all in one place. Ask it anything and uncover the drivers behind performance. Path to conversion reporting, media mix modeling, intelligence that adapts in real time with clear revenue impact. Elevate your intelligence platform.
Hey everyone, I'm David Berkowitz, and it's great to welcome you to another edition of AI Insiders with AI Marketers Guild, part of Marketecture Media. And our special guest today has been working on something that agencies have worked out, have been trying to figure out for decades, because from my 360i days and maybe even a little bit earlier, trying to see how to best engage with fans and customers through social media. What's the right way to do this at scale? How to do so in ways that are respectful of the different kind of user experience, where it's not ideally just talking at people, but engaging with people and having this two-way street. And for some crazy reason, Hank seems to think AI can actually be part of the solution here. So when I saw what Hank's doing and some of the problems that Stanify is trying to solve, I'm like, well, this is kind of fun and maybe even a little bit surprising. So wanted to get your perspective on things.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, David. I'm really excited about this. I've been looking forward to it for quite a while. You and I met months and months ago, and I feel like every time we talk, I've got new things to share.
Great.
I really want feedback from the group, hopefully on this call, and just share what we're doing. Quick background on me. I come from the marketing and agency world long time ago. So I went to the brand center at VCU way back, 2007 to 2009. It's a 2-year master's in mass communications, essentially grad school for advertising. And so all the agencies come and pluck you out of there at the end of the program. There's 4 tracks: strategy, art direction, copywriting, and brand management. And that's literally like the roles of the agencies. I was in the strategy track. And so after Brand Center, I graduated and I joined McKinney ad agency in North Carolina.
Great one.
Big brands, small town, right? So we had Nationwide Insurance, Sherwin-Williams, Coldwell Banker, Travelocity. Their roaming gnome was birthed there, created. And so as a strategist, I was able to touch all of those brands and more. So I had a great time there. Shortly thereafter, I actually did a stunt for Travelocity that won a bunch of awards that year. It was, we put the gnome on chat roulette, back when chat roulette was a hit for a minute. You guys remember that? The video show for strangers. Omegle winning the real prize, but chat roulette was the thing.
And I've got to ask, any chance you were at McKinney when they were on, what was that reality TV show that they were featured on?
Oh, I was not there.
It was a fun episode.
It would have been so fun.
Where agencies compete with each other.
Less than 18 months, because the Travelocity thing happened. It won a Chiat Award, which is like the Oscars of strategy, for the social media like strategy of the year. As a first year, I was at this award show that I thought I would never even go to in my career, but we won top honors. So that was great. It wound up getting a whole bunch of job offers sent my way elsewhere, and one of them was Team One in LA to work on Lexus. And they had seen the sort of social media thought leadership I was showing. It was a stunt that went well, but still they thought, oh, okay, this is digital native thinking, which in 2011, 10, 11 was kind of a new thing. We were teaching brands about social, how to be on social. Remember that? Like I remember talking to Travelocity about like Twitter and why it's important. And they were like, oh, I don't know, like be a personality online. I don't know. So that was like social media 1.0. I did go out to LA, work on Lexus. And shortly thereafter, I mean, Instagram came up, all this technology was sort of booming, and I couldn't just stay in advertising. I was like, I don't want to make just the ads, the interruptions to the things you're doing. I want to make the things. And so I jumped out into the tech world. It was 2012. And I wanted to find the combinations of culture plus technology equals explosions. So you would see that with Instagram, 100 million users in like 6 months or something, and a $1 billion sale to Facebook within 18 months. So that kind of stuff. And Snapchat, Airbnb, Uber, all of these cultural truths that exist, you just drop technology in it and it creates this amazing thing. I want to make the things. So I've been obsessed with that approach since 2012. I've started a series of companies since then. Some B2C, like an app here or there, very hard, crazy, like lottery ticket kind of stuff, literally like a scratcher, treat it that way for B2C apps. B2B, SaaS, marketplaces, services. I did build a growth marketing agency.
Hmm.
And that came from kind of the beginning of Stanify, which was 2015. Like you said on the intro, it's been decades of trying to figure out how to make social, relevant at sort of at scale for brands and businesses. And back then, the thing you could do was automate actions on a lot of these social platforms. I started a company called Vitamin, VYTMN. Don't bother Googling around on it. It's no longer around. But what we did was we automated the things that you're supposed to be doing. Like on Twitter, likes, favorites, follows, retweets, these kind of things, programmatically. We would go out and scrape like crazy. We just grab these scrapers and scrape all of your competitors' followers, put them in a database, and then go programmatically interact with them, get their attention about your brand, business. So that worked. But then we would follow, unfollow, all that stuff to grow your following, all this old classic tactics. But in 2015, that was all pretty new. And so we did that with no regard for the platforms. It turns out back then with Twitter, you could automate, you could do 1,000 actions a day, and the platform thresholds wouldn't ding you for that. So that seems like a lot for a human. But we were like, okay, fine. So let's do 990 actions a day, stay right under that threshold, and then we just went ham on it. We created 5,000-6,000 accounts and cranked them all up to almost max, and then put them into the programmatic for all these clients that we had. We charged $1,000 a month at the time for growth as a service, and we just let it run. And these businesses would get growth on their own socials. They would get web traffic. The web traffic would be targeted because it was your competitors' followers usually. And the traffic, when it would hit your page, if you're an e-com company, would convert to a sale at an average of 10%, which was like nothing short of magic.
Yeah.
And so it was great. And we won Startup of the Year that year at Silicon Beach Fest way back in the day. And I remember flying high, and it was, kind of like that Travelocity stunt thing. It was like, yeah, look at that, super famous. And we were dead 3 months later. Company was completely dead. And what happened is the platforms decided to clean up their act and to not allow that many actions to happen from any account. 1,000 is too many. So they dropped the threshold a lot. We didn't know that at the time. What we knew was all of our accounts died overnight, March 25th. I remember it because I woke up to the dashboard and I'm looking at usually a reach of 8 million, and just looking at all these accounts, they were all flatline. And so I hit the CTO and I was like, hey, it looks like the app got unplugged from the dashboard because dashboard's showing zeros. Can you plug it back in? And he was like, no, they're all dead. They're all dead. Oh my God. And it was like suspended accounts, not 4-digit PIN to turn it back on. It was like, you will contact customer support and we will decide whether we will turn your account back on. So there was no coming back from that. We spun up another few hundred accounts. They died overnight. Another few hundred, they died overnight. And we didn't know what was going on. We went from making 100K a month to burning 100K a month because our team was there, and we quickly ran out of money, like real fast, and couldn't figure out what was going on. Turns out they dropped the threshold to about 200 a month actions, which is still today around what it is. And the math didn't work for our system to be able to do that at scale and make money on it. It just literally ruined the whole thing. So good for them to clean up their act. And it turns out we were building a bot farm, and we didn't know that, and we didn't respect social for what it really needs to be, which is what we're doing with Stanify today. Authentic engagements at scale, with real humans, real brands, and real intention. So basically, the technology wasn't around. It wasn't available up until really this revolution with ChatGPT. 2-3 years ago, it really began. Large language model capabilities to bring a brand's voice into a conversation with high quality, and then understanding a comment, running it through a language model to understand the intent of someone's comment, to be able to give them a relevant response right now, and like a really good one. And so we've found right out of the gate, value immediately happens. The platforms like it. Here's the big so what with Stanify. The very beginning with my co-founder Hassan, he had sold his last business to Meta. It's live streaming software called VidPresso. And he went through Y Combinator with it. They were doing a lot of live streaming. It was on the web, so you could bring your live stream elements into like a Chrome browser. So it wound up in all these production studios globally. So NFL, NBA, PGA, NHL, Fox Sports, ESPN, all of them were using VidPresso. Meta acquired it to build out their live streaming elements. So he had seen from the inside brands not, big campaigns, big audiences, and very low engagement on social. And he just always found that frustrating, but there wasn't much to be done inside of Meta. They didn't want to get in the engagement game with businesses. As a platform, they got plenty going on with the algorithm, ads, and just making sure that both of those things work well for everyone. So the very first thing we did when we figured out, hey, you can do an API call, grab comments, run the comments through any language model, ChatGPT, and you come back with replies that they're not bad, they're okay. And so right there, we had that little prototype of an app. We went into, I said, this is cool, Hassan. Hey, can we go talk to Meta? Because if they don't like this, I'm not going to make this a business with you. I've seen this movie before. I've starred in it. So we got to know if they are going to like this or not. I thought they were going to like it. I'm a little bit gun shy at this point about this kind of stuff. I was like, okay, let's just go see if they're just going to crush this anyways. Automated AI slop comments or something, right? And so we went there and talked with him, and really high level guy. And we said, what do you think of this app? Would you guys approve this sort of replies app? And he said, so we really like this. And we said, really? He goes, yes. You're helping businesses engage authentically with their audiences in ways that are actually authentic. You can detect the intent and you can give a nice relevant reply. That's great. We like that kind of engagement. It's okay that there's AI in it because brands, you're not mimicking, you're not faking people out with thinking they're humans. It's the brand speaking. That's either going to be an intern internally at a company anyways, or worst case, it's an actual bot that doesn't have any intelligence to it. So he said, we like it. We like engagement on our platforms. And we want the brands to engage more with their audiences. When they engage with their audiences, the audience comes back onto the platform. So you're a time on app company. Time on app is our key metric. So yeah, we approve the app, and we would encourage you to go get the biggest brands in the world. They all have a problem with engagement. And so that was the beginning of our journey. It was month one, which was about a year ago. And that brings us to today. Got a lot to show if you're okay with that. I'd love to.
Yeah, go for it.
Know a bit about the product. So basically what we do is we help brands engage with their audiences on social media in the comments and DMs. That's what Stanify does. And what we found is the larger the community, the larger the problems and value in this solution. So we work with enterprise companies more than any other businesses. And we've had that right out of the gate. So we're still new. We're about 10 months in market, and we're really excited because we want to understand the larger opportunity across many sizes of businesses and types of businesses and industries. And really, this group of marketers are really excited and marketing minds to get feedback and thoughts on what we're doing. So hopefully we can get the dog and pony show part done and get to the fun part, which is talking to you guys about what we're doing. Should be able to share my screen. Here we go. Let me know if you have any trouble seeing this. I'm just going to do entire screen.
Here we go. Yeah, see it.
All right. So I'll put this thing down here, and I'll go over here. You guys see that okay?
Yeah.
Great. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to shrink this down a little and full screen it like that. Okay. So real quick, we'll go through this pretty quickly. But basically, here's a little video that is how we show up in the world. Have a look at this real quick. Yeah, it's a basic idea. It's kind of cutesy, but it gives you the full gamut of, safety, engagement, e-com, automated actions based on intent. So there's a lot in there. Quickly going through this again, my co-founder Hassan had sold Vidpresso to Meta after going through Y Combinator. He was the head of creator and media partnerships at a London office for 4 years, overseeing MENA Asia. And during that time, he had seen these brands just not engaging. Meanwhile, I was out at McKinney and then Team One working on digital strategy with brands who also were just not engaging much with their audiences. Big campaigns, big budgets, big audiences, big all that, but very low actual engagement. And then our CTO, Jarir, co-founder, in that same 10-year period, he was studying machine learning and AI for 10 years. So that's like way before it was cool. He was doing that. That was actually back when it was pretty weird. So people thought he was weird. It turns out he was right. And he was an engineer at Microsoft and then over at Kayak after that, working directly with Paul English. So basically the three of us, when we got together and saw that this was possible, we said, oh my God, that's amazing. And we've articulated our passion for this space with our little manifesto, Stanifesto. We believe that social should be about conversations, not just content. Every comment is an opportunity. And so, basically the way we look at it is social's become a one-way conversation for most brands. That's just where you put your message, throw your campaign out there, your content. The social part has mostly gone away or is ignored. 87% of social media comments go unanswered. That's in general. We found a study last week. When it's businesses, it's 97%. So we got to update this slide probably because it's even worse when you just look at businesses. When you think of it, though, it makes sense. Comments on social are hard to handle for everyone, but especially at scale. So when you get tens of thousands, humans responding manually is expensive. It's unwieldy. It's unreasonable to think that you can actually handle all of those and get an ROI out of it. So it doesn't happen. And then up until recently, bots sending just canned messages didn't bring any value. They didn't speak in the brand's voice. They didn't know the context of the post or the conversation that's happening in the post. So they didn't bring much value. In fact, they would actually take away value when they would put stuff out there that was so dry and robotic. So there's a lot of power in the comments, though. Everybody knows that that's value to be harvested, but also danger to be avoided. And we exist to help businesses harness the value and protect against the danger. So think of us like a trusted co-pilot, your buddy on the team to handle community management day to day. So the three big things we do: brand safety, or removing harmful content from your feed. That's anything from strong language, racism, spam, bullying, harassment, religious hate speech, all that, but also custom ones. So we've had brands ask us, can you remove mentions of our competitors from our own comment feed? And we can. And the platforms don't mind this because your brand page is your house. You built your house. You keep it clean as you want. You entertain your guests when they're over there. You help them get what they want. Meta and these other platforms don't want to do that. But they want the brands to be doing it. So safety for sure is an important one. Engagement is the second thing we do, which is the responses to comments and DMs. These come in the brand's voice. They work in any language. If somebody writes in Thai, we can write it back in Thai. Half English, half Japanese, we can do the same. And these replies are contextual to the content. We watch the video that you posted. We know every frame of the video. So if someone comments on an obscure part of the video, we're there on it. And the third is workflows. This is the agentic part of our business. So the actions that we take based on intent that we detect in a comment. Are they looking to purchase? Is someone looking for support? Are they looking to file a complaint? And I say looking to because this is not direct keyword based, like comment course and we'll DM you a course. And everybody goes course, which is so clunky and ruins the social experience for everybody else that's there. It's using it like a blunt object. Like that's kind of the past, or it will be soon, because we can detect intent and we know when somebody wants to get it. They just have to be talking about it in the comments. Oh, I'd love to get one of these. Man, this would be great for my mom, whatever. We can send a link automatically via DM. And that's not just for purchase, but for support or complaints. If someone's complaining in the public feed, I hate this thing, I can't find the power button, whatever. We can hide that complaint in the public feed, move it to DM and address them over there. Hey, saw you were having trouble here. Let's help you out over here. And we can either handle the issues right there if we know the answers to whatever the question is, or we can pass that person off to an internal team member for our customers. a lot of work gets done that the day-to-day that's just either not happening at all or it's very difficult to do with humans. Most important thing here is every customer has full control over this. It's not some, willy-nilly hallucination machine. You can have fully automatic, posting of comments and DMs, so autopilot. Some of our customers do that. Most choose human in the loop to, see drafted replies to everything, and then someone on the team, on your internal team, is approving each one of those. That way, we're doing 99% of the work instead of 100. We like that a lot. That way, you can really go from good to great on some of these. If you'd like to change a specific word or something like that. Safety settings are customizable across different categories. Sentiment analysis turns out to be the most valuable and important thing we're doing at scale with large brands. Positive, negative, neutral, not just tagging or flagging, but helping our customers understand what's driving positivity, what's driving negativity. They're like this about the product, they don't like this about the shipping or whatever. Or for a campaign, this is working with your content, this is not working very well. Here, you should do more of this, do less of that. So I'll show you more about that in a second. Voice tuning, every customer gets their own custom voice modeling for your brand voice. When you authenticate with Stanify, your socials, we go read everything you've ever written and then train your voice model on that. So we're like your best trained employee ever on minute one. But you can also tune the model to be more professional, more approachable, more cheeky. Most of our customers never touch this, but you could if you wanted to for a particular post or a campaign. The dashboard shows real-time data, naturally, what's going on, what's happening, actions and all that. And you can sift and sort through by sentiments or, time parts or trends or anything. We also show insights here around the data and what is happening behind the data. And so here we got a lot of our customers saying, give me more of this, like the so what behind the data. We really like the so what stuff. So now we share an actual insights report monthly with every customer that is the so what behind the data. Like what is working about your content, what is not, what are the top 5 questions being asked, top 5 complaints, progress month over month of community engagement, all of that. So this is winding up to be in very high demand with our customers because this travels up the food chain into the VPs and C-suites on what's going on this month in social. Stanify works on organic posts. If you're posting every day, works on ads and DMs, of course. On ads, we found that we act as a protector of the ad spend. We remove the negativity during your ad. If it's a dark ad that has a comment section, somebody says something like, looks cheap, wouldn't buy it. What a piece of crap. I can get something better at Walmart. All of that doesn't belong in your ad. You're paying the money to have the experience presented to your customers. You have the right to cleanse the experience and keep it what you want it to be. So we remove negativity during ads, and we also can answer the frequently asked questions that come during an ad campaign. If you know the questions and answers, upload them to Stanify. Does it come in blue? Does this ship to Canada? What's your return policy? We can answer them automatically so that the ad performs to its maximum in real time. And then DMs, like I said, we can move a comment into a DM when it's better handled in the private room, as it were, or we can just handle busy DM inboxes. So the product itself is dead simple. It's like Slack level easy to use. It's like username and password to set up an account, one click, integrate your socials, set your brand voice. We already know it by the time you're there. And then everybody starts manually. You can go to automatic later. It takes like 5 minutes to get set up. And then you're live. So here, if you have a sunglasses company, you post on Facebook your cool sunglasses. If somebody comments, these are awesome, you'll see it in your inbox. You can like it right there. You can see our drafted reply and either edit it or send it out just as is, and it goes out. It's like one click, done, and you've got a nice relevant reply to that person. Safety filters, we have 12 categories right out of the box, and what action to be taken per category. So for strong language, hide and escalate that. I really don't want to see strong language out there. So if anybody puts something strong language-wise, and you have it set to hide and escalate, you'll see it as hidden already, escalated, and the reasons why, and that thing is gone and not seen by any other humans. But the angry person still sees it on their feed because it's hidden, not deleted. You can turn Stanify on and off on comments, ads, and DMs. Nobody ever turns it off with us, but you could if you wanted to. Then triggers, like I said, we detect most of this anyways. But if you wanted to create a custom trigger, the purchase campaign, if any of these keywords get said, and you could put 100 keywords in there, then send a custom response. Here's that trackable link for your ecom, and then we're running ecom sort of automatically. Whether it comes back as a reply in Facebook, you can send links in a reply, but everywhere else, it's in a DM back to them automatically. dashboard shows real-time data. We were talking about that earlier. I'll skip it in the interest of time. We're live on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We've done technically now over 3 million comments managed through the platform. And we're approved by X and YouTube, going live with those soon. And then we're in process with Snapchat, LinkedIn, and Reddit. We're really excited because all the platforms are being very friendly and accommodating to us because we're bringing value that they want in there. This is not unwanted in the platforms because it's for brands and businesses, right? Trying to fake out humans. There's a huge difference, we'll talk about in a minute probably, between faking someone out of humanness and brand communications. So we've got a ton of traction with enterprise. Like I said, we have, all these and more. And it's just great because we're solving really important pain points for them and bringing them insights that they didn't know before within their own communities. So, but a bunch of Unilever brands, CPG works really well. Gaming, auto, media, quick service, restaurant, pharma, telco. Onic is like a Verizon sort of sized company overseas. Real estate. So there's a whole lot of value going to businesses by way of what we do. And it turns out that it's not about the type of business. It's about humans getting what they want from a business. And with social media, it looks like what's happening is social used to be an obligation for most brands and businesses, especially big ones, just a risk zone to just minimize risk and do the minimum amount of investment into it just to keep it safe enough. We're turning that into a maximum channel for you to be able to interact with every single customer one-to-one in the exact way they want to be engaged with at scale, instantly, and for almost no money. So it's a transformation of social. We're very excited at the progress we made this year because we think this is the way that social will work starting now and into the future, which is good news for brands, businesses, and consumers. So I gave you a lot at once. Would love to dig into the parts that are probably the most interesting and important for this group. Happy to answer any questions. Yeah, what do you want to do from here, David? How would you like to go?
Sure. Any questions so far from...
So have you measured the ROI on this? How are brands, what's their response so far?
Great question. There are a few ways to define ROI. There's e-com ROI. Are we selling anything in our comments? And we have e-com companies that are selling, and the links are trackable, and you can go see what numbers came through. And the ROI it's real easy to get positive ROI. I'll put it that way. I don't want to share our pricing on the screen here because it's not listed on the site, but it's like astoundingly low, our cost. So e-com ROI, yes, we're seeing that happens. We can detect intent that they weren't going to get in the comments and do conversions that weren't happening before. Other ROI definitions are efficiency gains. This one, what we're seeing is a community manager would normally have like an 8-hour day always on, just kind of trying to catch the bad stuff and do something with it, or try and write some replies manually. And what we're seeing in our user sessions, because we can watch every session in the back end, it's like 10 minutes a day. Like you can hop on and you can just go. What we're seeing the users do is they grab their coffee at about 8:30 and they go post, edit, post, skip, post. And then they can go on with their day to do more strategically valuable things with their human brain, right? With their creativity and their judgment and their time. So the efficiency gains are tremendous. It's at least 90% from the customers we've talked to about the before and after, 90% reduction in the cost of that day to day. Whether they're reducing their team size or not, it's not up to us. We recommend to everyone, don't let your teams go. Allow them now to spend their time doing more important things for the business, like going out onto social where the brand is being mentioned elsewhere. We can find the mentions for you, but we can't go interact with someone else's page for your brand. The platforms don't like that. So go do those. Go be interesting on social. So that was a long answer. ROI there is very big, but hard to put a number on it besides the reduction of cost so that you can go grow your business more.
So for smaller brands, I guess one way you mentioned before where you would go to competitors and find prospects. So is that something for smaller brand that could be an opportunity?
Yeah, that's amazing. We're getting asked that more and more recently. Hey, can you help us understand what our competitors are doing, what is working with their content, and what we can learn, beg, borrow, and steal from? So there's a sort of like keeping up with the Joneses element to help you understand just all the time what's going on with competitors. And the tactics that we used with Vitamin, which was literally going out there and grabbing information, we're not doing that unless it's available on the API, because I've learned a good lesson the hard way. Don't mess around with these platforms if you're doing stuff they don't want. We want to add value to all sides. So I have to say that out loud. To the extent that we can monitor your competitors and understand what their audiences are doing, we're doing that. But let's say a big beverage brand has asked us, you're going to take our information and share with that other big beverage brand when they're working with you too, with this kind of face. And we said, we can use the data to be a better business for like the beverage category. The tide rises all of those boats, but we're not going to take this beverage brand's audience and cross-pollinate it with the other, because that's not going to work for clients. They're not going to like that about each other, and the platforms are going to start to mind that. So
let me give you something that relates to my own brand. So I'm integrating, creating integration with products like Notebook LM and Claude. And my interest would be people who are on Notebook LM and Claude making comments there for me to know their intent of what they're trying to do, and if it's relevant to what I'm doing, to be able to go and engage with them. Is that something that would be possible?
Yeah. So thanks for clarifying that. The short answer is yes. And what we call that, we consider that social listening, which is just trying to understand who out there is signaling that they might want whatever it is that a brand or product offers. That's been around for a long time in a certain way. Sprout Social and Sprinkler and probably umpteen other social listening companies have had different versions of that. That technology is like 20 years old. We are now adding those kind of things in because we did the hard part first, which was understanding large language modeling, agentic voice modeling at scale. So literally right now we're building out the social listening portion of our business. And then what's going to come from that, we're probably going to call it opportunities. That is not necessarily, social listening might be, where is my brand being mentioned elsewhere? And we can catch those. That's real easy. That's just listening for mentions. Opportunities is like you're saying, hey, here's a whole bunch of people that are signaling that they are using this type of, whatever parameters you have, this notebook, and that they probably would like your business. That's great. And we think that's going to be a big, deep part of our product that just gets deeper over time. We've also found that a post going viral anywhere close to your industry is an interesting thing to show you. Hey, this post is going viral right now on TikTok. Millions and millions of views and likes and comments. Go drop a comment in there. Something funny or interesting or weird, and ride that wave for today. Literally, it's only going to be for today, probably. So that's also an opportunity zone. We're excited to build out more of that, because that's what we're hearing more and more is, yeah, great, you're covering my community, but for smaller businesses, help me find ways to grow it, not just manage what's there.
All right. Well, I'd like to try that.
Yeah, that's great. And just for everybody in the room here, we're in learning mode on some of these things, and we would love to trade some value and not have it cost a bunch of money to be learning from the right kinds of businesses that would want these kind of features. So hear me out there. Happy to run a pilot that doesn't cost anything to the right kind of businesses. If it's this kind of learning, we're happy to collaborate at this time.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to.
Yeah, awesome.
Engage. Yeah.
We like I showed on the presentation, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, live and in action right now. X and YouTube are coming soon. So all of those platforms, we're really interested in understanding what is similar about the needs on Instagram versus YouTube. We're seeing that the needs are quite different. And so this is awesome for us. LinkedIn, very different type of platform. Reddit, completely different in some ways. So we're in a really interesting zone right now where we know we've got a product market fit, but we have all these other platforms that have different use cases and value props. So again, learning mode big time. Please don't be bashful. Reach out to me and let's see if we can work together.
I mean, Reddit is a great platform, but they're very militant about the type of comments that go on there, and it's very easy to get banned from groups there. Yeah.
We've talked with Reddit a little, and I'll keep it at that. But people who know inside Reddit, they believe what we're doing is going to be best as moderator tools. You know, not brand engagement automation. Reddit doesn't want that. It's moderators often are overwhelmed with, especially the big channels, the big subs. And we're excited to see that. We're just at the beginning of it. So it's too early to say, but Reddit's probably going to be a different beast in that way. And with LinkedIn, by the way, business pages, your business speaking, not the stuff that's just kind of ruining LinkedIn right now. People are out there with their Chat GPT written replies to someone's posts, you know, their comments. I don't like that at all. It's like, so it's clear to everybody, we're not trying to do that kind of stuff. It's not good. I'm a human. Here's my AI slop to make you think that my human brain wrote that is not good for social. Brand pages, and not more than that until further notice. But I don't think we're going to want to be in the business of fooling other humans into thinking that a human said something. One other thing to mention, creators, influencers, in that same vein, we've talked with a bunch of them. They have no interest in us speaking, helping them speak or speaking for them in their comments of their posts. Authenticity is like the most important thing that they have. Their fans love them because they're real and authentic. So we have found the data and insights part of what we do is the interest of especially the larger creators. They might have 5,000 comments on a YouTube video. We can show them the breakdown of who's saying what, the different categories of reactions and questions, and bubble that up to the surface for a creator team almost instantly so that they don't have to comb through any of that stuff. And we can show you the top 10% of comments you should go interact with, but then get out of the way and let them go be the awesome human that they are. However, virtual creators, as I'm sure everybody here knows about, is a whole space that is kind of a dead ringer for us. When you have a creator that's made from scratch anyways by AI, they never existed in the first place. The audience mostly knows that, but they follow this person anyway, some makeup model or whatever. That entity can have a personality that is a brand, a voice that can be expressed in social. So we're seeing a lot of interest from agencies who are building virtual creators, and we can power the voice. No problem there. So we're likely to do a lot more of that, but not the real ones until they want it, and I'm not sure they will. Gary Vaynerchuk says in 5-10 years, there'll be more virtual creators on the planet than there are humans, which is like weird and scary. But why wouldn't a brand have 10, they grow and develop 10 or 20 personas that would work for the brand 24/7? I think that's unavoidable and inevitable, whether you like it or not. They work 24/7. They don't sleep, don't eat, don't have contracts, don't have a drug problem. They can say anything, do anything all the time, everywhere. I think that's going to happen. The real question is, what happens to marketing when everybody's doing that all the time? We're going to hit this weird saturation point where it's almost like I'm more worried about the information singularity than the robots and lasers one. Like, what happens when everything is everywhere all the time, everywhere, everything? How do you?
Well, I think something similar to how that happened to your previous business. People will shut off.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there is people do not go in the same direction all the time, and only because it's worked for so long, it doesn't mean that it's going to work in the future as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you don't get value out of it, you're not going to use it anymore.
By the way, speaking of that, we've found email to be almost completely ineffective for Stanify, talking to other businesses about what we do. We can identify a decision maker at a brand. We can go look at their socials. We can see that 22% of the comments are negative. We can tell that person that, show them Fortune 500 logos and say that we can help them. Let's get started today. Nobody's even answering those emails at all. Like I've been in marketing for 20 years. That is super weird. And we've iterated around a bunch on it and found like tremendously low effect. And I personally think that's because email is getting burned to the ground right in front of all of us by AI tooling. And I know that's probably a hot take, but like my own inbox, half of it is this stuff, this cold outreach, clay enriched, whatever about my business, scraped from my LinkedIn or whatever. Hey, saw that your dog's name is Harry and that your wife does this and then this over here. Can I send you a case study? Would you like to see a Loom video? And it's like, I get so many that I don't even open any of them anymore, which is where we are also getting trapped in that. Nobody believes it, so they don't open it. Or if they open it, they don't read it. Or if they open it and read it, they don't believe even what's in there. So we found other channels, just put it that way, are how we're communicating with businesses. And those are going to get burned up too. DMs, I don't know. My LinkedIn inbox is getting filled with these as well. And how long is it going to take before, like you were saying, like everything just gets totally muted and scorched? Like that could take the 6 to 12 months and no one reads their emails or DMs anymore. I'm worried about that. Which means human to human connection becomes so much more valuable. It's almost immeasurable how much better it is to be talking with a human in real life, or at least on a screen.
Yeah, I find that a lot of those DMs are pedestrian. Like you said, they just mention something about you and then they pitch and you can immediately tell that it's it's a canned response.
When marketing outreach becomes so simple that anyone and everyone can do it, then anyone and everyone does, and it dilutes the whole thing down and the value's not there. Like imagine flyers. You don't see people standing on the street handing out flyers very often anymore, because anyone could go print flyers and stand on the street and hand them to everybody. So once upon a time, that was probably more popular, but like no one does that now because it doesn't work. It's like what Mitch Hedberg once said, the comedian. When someone hands me a flyer, it's like, here, you throw this away. So that's happening with marketing channels. I'm worried about it. But what we found is when we do talk to a decision maker at a business, it's astounding. The close rate, it's like 90%, literally, because we're bringing a value that's just not been possible at a price point that is unbelievable, really. And we've got a track record and data to show the integrity of what we're doing. I feel very lucky to be doing this now. Hard work and all of that, yeah, but like right thing, right time, right team, right problem set, solution, and an environment that needs it. I feel pretty lucky to be doing what we're doing now. Daniel, I would argue that old school techniques are more effective than some of digital delivery. I don't remember the last time someone gave me a flyer. Absolutely. So I'd pay more attention to one versus hundreds of randomly. Absolutely. So that's where we may have this cyclical effect where a flyer is like actually more valuable now, or like a package in the snail mail that you get at your office, which has also gone out of style a little bit. Voicemail, voice notes. I'm starting to get a few of those in a text message or in a LinkedIn DM. Those are unconventional and weird and strangely personal, although those will quickly burn it up too, because some 11 Labs thing just does it for you. But yeah, like where could marketers borrow from the principles of human interaction and still leverage the value beyond face-to-face human connection, coffees and lunches? Custom floor mats. Yeah. I'm serious, Daniel, you're spitting the truth over here. Like where, as us marketers, can we think principles of value? Because email is gone and DMs are probably gone, and phone calls. You guys answer any of if it's a number you don't recognize, like nobody even does anymore. Even now, the new iOS has got it in there where they'll answer it for you and screen it and take care of it and literally be talking to that person and sending you text messages about it. So I would just say for this group of smart marketers, I'm going to call it, like from the front lines, we're finding we got to get real creative. Doormats. So Delve, apparently, Daniel's put in the comments there. Check it out. We may go do that because because we need to find, because by the time we get to a business decision maker, we're just talking about value. A call where we run through the deck that you guys just saw, it's not a sales call. It's an FYI call. It's like, FYI, you don't have to have that stuff in your feeds anymore. FYI, all of your customers can get what they want out of social, and you can start today in 5 minutes. Your shoes look nice. Do your sock twos? That's amazing. Any other questions from the group? This is so fun.
Well, this is great. What's the best way to stay in touch with you?
Yeah, we are Stanify is a pretty ownable term, so you can find us online most places. Stanify. Unfortunately, some of the social handles are taken, so I think with YouTube is Stanify_AI, and on Twitter is something else. But a search on these of the platforms will get you there. I'm Hank at Stanify.ai, so I'll put it out there. Feel free to. Now I'm going to get like, let's go viral and see if that becomes a problem, David. That'll be our mission together. Let's have my email inbox get overloaded. But no, we want to talk with businesses. We want to talk with stakeholders because we've solved a lot of enterprise, but mid-market, SMB, early stage companies, and even other industries like hospitality and travel and all, we haven't really gotten into those yet. So we're still early days and we want to learn. So like we welcome inquisitive and curious people, even if it's not a fit. Learning is more important than money right now to us.
Well, I will definitely reach out to you.
Thank you, Karen. Appreciate it.
Well, appreciate you coming by and overcoming some tech difficulties, as we all must sometimes. So, yeah, look forward to continuing to see what you're building there and what you're learning. Appreciate you sharing that all with us.
Yeah, I love being a part of AIMG. I'm excited. I wish I wasn't so busy all the time, but I really have enjoyed getting into the content, understanding the community better, and I feel honored to be a part of it. So thanks again for asking me.
Well, glad you're involved, Hank, and good to see all of you. And be sure to check out the lineup. We got a lot scheduled for next couple months. So check out some of our upcoming speakers and events, and I'll see you soon.